Hi there, this is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Cottage in Springfield, Missouri. Thank you so much for joining me. It is cold outside, but lovely. It's been hard to be inside stamping, but today, before I even forget, if you haven't done it yet, get over to Stampin' Up and get involved in that free shipping. Today is the last day. I think it's still going today. I'm not even sure what day this is. When you're retired, you don't always know what's going on. It's sweet. It's sweet. All right, so I do want to get going. Today I'm so excited about what we're doing. Let me just show you the card. So it's called Blessed Beginnings. I used a bunch of old stuff. I did put it in the stack back there, so you'll be able to see what I've used. But it's this little church, and it's so cute. I even put, I see on the back of this card, I even told you how I colored it. That's nice for me, because sometimes I don't remember to do that. Now, this is a background stamp. I'm not going to show you. It's a big wood one that is beautiful, and I have probably 3 or 4 big ones like this that I bring out once in a while, and I enjoy coloring them, but they are a little labor intensive. I love them though. They're really nice. I might use this frame today. This is a retired frame that we had that you could emboss as well as cut out. I think it's one of the first ones that Stampin' Up did where it cut and embossed at the same time. And that is really handy, but the stamp set is so cute in that little frame. Now, any little frame would do, so I might do that one today. We'll see. We'll see. I never really know what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to use the main stamp set. Sometimes it just depends on how easy it goes. Today I have time. I don't think Jeff's going to be home immediately. He's a substitute teacher. He does it just a couple of days a week. I never know what days. Ever. I mean, he does tell me sometimes the week before, but not always, because he doesn't always know either. So that's why my videos are just like hit and miss as far as the day, and I apologize for that, but at least until we go on vacation or we have family or something and I have to take a break for a week or two, right now I'm ahead of the game a little bit, so I'm not doing last week's newsletter. I'm doing next week's newsletter. When you get the newsletter this coming week, you will see these cards in them. This is the tutorial for it. You can go on my YouTube channel and find all kinds of old videos. Oh boy, some very, very sketchy bad, but still, there's... Even in my worst videos, I don't think I've removed any of them because there's always something to learn, Learning from other people's mistakes is unfortunately a lot of how I learn. So just saying, that's why I haven't taken them down. It's like, now I wouldn't have thought of doing it that way. Now I'll know not to. There's good in that, okay? There's good in that. So I'm going to put the camera down. I'll try to remember what kinds of things we can pick out of the day-to-day. Here's my little list of chitter-chatter if I need to know it. This is a little book, To Our Children's Children. I haven't really looked at it all that much. It's a really old one that I just found, used somewhere, I believe, and it has some really good things in it about, just for little memory starters for you. If you are trying to remember things to tell your grandkids, it's like, I know when you're going through it, it's like, I know I will never forget this. This is so good or so bad. I know I'm going to, and of course you don't want to share bad information, but actually sometimes you do in the right way. So possibly that might give you an idea of how to do it if I get to it. I don't usually, but you never know. Sometimes I do. All right. And it just has little memory starters. If you've ever done Storyworth, it's kind of that in a book form. And very handy, I must say. Here's the website. I don't keep it up very well anymore. I just do not have time. Because now that Jeff is retired, we do like to get out and travel a bit. Our kids' families are growing, so we are really, really, really busy going and visiting them because they don't live here. None of them live here in Missouri, so we all are are traveling quite a bit. It looks like my water is low here in my little Stampin' Up by stamp cleaners, so I'm going to run over here really quick and put some water on those. I try to keep my sink nice and clean, so sometimes when I run water like that, I can just take my little chamois and just wipe the water out, and it gets them moist very nicely, and we're all good. I do have some laundry going. I oftentimes do, if I'm doing this on a Friday. Friday is the day I wash sheets, and I oftentimes have laundry going. So if you hear a kerchunk in the background, nothing has happened, nothing bad. It's just that my sewer lift over there, because I'm doing this in the basement. Well, sort of. It's a daylight basement. Now, today is a lovely day. It's sunny. I told you it was cold yesterday. It was almost 70 degrees, and it was beautiful. I went on a bike ride this week in that kind of temperature earlier in the week, and I made sure I got out. I went to the park a lot, walked. Oh, it was wonderful. But now, today, when I just an hour or two ago, when I was like 30-something degrees, so it's very cold now. So here's the stamp set. You get this, there's dies with it. You definitely want this. It has blessings. It's very wordy-wise, very, very simple. I put it in the back of my Path to Greatness just because the word greatness is going to remind me. I also, that greatness in my view is not buildings, not places, not religions. It's God. And so he's awesome. 3-in-1, follow Jesus. Please, he's beautiful. He's so kind and loving and gentle and kind, like merciful in a way you could never imagine. There is a tiny little cross indicating that. And there is the word baptism. But I'm pulling from our old stamp sets as well. The Rejoice in Him one is really nice because I love this, wishing you joy and love this Easter. I used the He is Risen in this one. And it also has a nice dove. The His Grace is a really good one too. That is the one I used for this one. It has the Bible verse from John 3:16. And it also has that rejoicing in His grace. And I grounded this church because a good church is grounded on the Bible. And that came from an old set that is called His Love. So you've got your nice little Bible. Very easy to fussy cut out because this one did not have any dies. I loved this set the best of all the ones we've had because it has His love never fails. That is so true. And then also, I used the Hills of Tuscany on something, didn't I? No, I actually was going to, but I ended up using a different old stamp set that I found. I don't think that's my Hills of Tuscany. No, it's not. Stampin' Up has done a couple of Hills of Tuscany. Oh, there it is. It's this one. That's why it's out. So Tuscan Vineyards, very old. I've only just recently realized I need to write the dates of these stamp sets on so I know exactly what year they came from. But you could always look it up online. Google will find it. Tuscan Vineyard to tell you exactly how old it is. You can always find these old sets. Well, not always. Sometimes you can't find them on eBay or Etsy, but a lot of times you can. If you're part of a Stampin' Up group, if you go to Facebook's hobby demonstrators and someplace like that, there's a bunch actually, where you can type in what you're looking for and someone probably has it. Anyway, this is a really nice background. It's just the right size to go behind my little church. And I wanted this symbolism of the wine, you know, because this is a vineyard. It's a wine vineyard and I wanted that. But I didn't want to overdo it either because, you know, in some of our traditions, people don't really want to do alcohol at all, so I just don't want to even get into that. I'm not interested in arguing. I only know one thing: Jesus is Lord and God, Creator, and He's wonderful, so you should get to know Him if you don't. But Hills of Tuscany was like 2 or 3 years ago,
and it's a good alternative to this one. Also a used set, so you could find it. Has these nice little cypress trees, nice sentiments that I really liked. Lots of ground and water and sky type texture stamps. That's why I bought this set. I didn't need it for the house, but I wanted it for the texture. You've got a sun and these cypress trees. They're the perfect complement to those. So those are the sets I used. This year I've just been using tons and tons of old sets, and I'm doing that because Stampin' Up! For just this year, I believe, had kind of shrunk the kinds of stamps that I do as far as what they offer new. But this is a new set, that framed scenes. This was old a year ago, so they're still kind of new. It might even be still an online set if you looked for it. It has more summer scenes, although you can turn this into a winter one really easily if you want to. But it's summer. And then they came out with this one. Is this a brand new one? I think it is. So this is probably in our pre-order. If you are not a demonstrator, now is the time to join, because you get this wonderful tool that I'm going to show you in a minute. And it actually works really, really good with this set. I might use it with this one. In fact, I should. I think I will. The Faraway Landscapes is a really good background for this little church. So I'm going to put all of these away on the back burner. I might use them for the sentiments, just because these sentiments from my point of view, if you're not a believer in Christ, or you're not a church goer too much and you don't do that sort of thing, but you think a church would be really nice, little chapel for a wedding card, or to honor someone else, you know, who is having a christening or something. This would still be a great set for you to include, because it's not denominational at all. It's just a basic church. So I like that. And but yeah, I have my own. I don't think I have a church. I think this is the only church. That's why I had to put it in here with this. But this building kind of reminded me of many beautiful churches I've been in. Oh man, some of them are fabulous. All right, so let us proceed with the day. Not sure how it's going to go, but don't forget, join Stampin' Up. You get to have. You're going to hear my little scuffle of slippers. Jeff and I hear each other, you know, scuffling around the house all day because we're always wearing slippers. Because down here in the basement, it's quite cold. In fact, until it was really hot. In fact, I almost had to put the air conditioning on one day when we had that super warm days, because we had that for about a week, maybe a week and a half. Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah, I think it was a week and a half. I went on at least 2, maybe 3 bike rides. Went to the park as much as I possibly could. It was so wonderful. Did not see daffodils blooming. They were up, but not blooming. And I was so happy to see that the honeysuckle bush, that I thought all the blossoms had frozen with that last late freeze that we had. Yay, that honeysuckle bush, it is so prolific that it had already sent out some. I could breathe in honeysuckle. All right, this is our new stamp thing. It's wonderful. It's called a stamp positioner. I was skeptical when I bought it because I thought, you're not going to like this as well as our old one. And I was wrong, as I often am. It has so many qualities about it that I like, that I will just talk about them as we go. So I'm going to put this on the side. I found my little shaver case that I'd kind of lost, because when I got the new one, I thought, well, I need the case, but I'd gotten rid of the case because I'd put my other thing, unmentionable, right by my desk so I could see it to remember to use it, because I do really like it still. But I don't like it as much as this one, and so I don't want to move it because that's where it is, but I put this one in a place of honor right behind me in the cabinet so I can just reach in and get it. I don't even have to bend over, which is nice. All right, so yes, we scuffle around and we can hear our slippers scuffle, scuffle, scuffle. So anyway, if you join, you get initially, I believe you get a 20% discount on every purchase you ever make, so it's definitely worth it. And to stay in, it's worth it for the discount alone. But I think actually for me, it's not even the discount as much. That's part of it, but it's the getting to order early. So you get to order all of these things a month before anybody else has them, and then you always have what you want and you don't ever run out with it. You know, you're never going to be thinking, how in the world do you guys do it? Because you've always got stuff, and I tried to order it and it was out. It was gone. I couldn't get it, and then by the time I wanted it, I didn't want any more, and then later I wanted it and never had bought it, and oh boy, it just goes on and on. So don't be in that fix. Just join the club. It's a great one. You can join me. I'd appreciate it, and you get little perks for being on my team. And I would love to have you join me, but you don't have to. You can join anybody, but you get this in your kit, and you for free. I mean, seriously, I had to buy it, but you can get it free by joining. And that offer is only good to the end of this month, and then this offer goes away. You won't get this. You'll have to pay for it like I did. Believe me, you want to get it free. All right, so let's do this one. This is a very simple one, and I pulled out my old heirloom. Oh, is it ripped? No, there it is. I've got it in an old folder so I can keep it all together. This was several years ago now, a frame, okay? I used to tag it so that I knew whether it was new, old, whatever. Now I don't even worry about it. Probably half the stuff I'm using is old, whatever. But it came, you could do, there's a square one. I need to put this with the square one because there is a square one. Where are you? There you are. Or rectangular, actually. So it came with this rectangular die. Okay, so that one I should probably have in here as well. I don't think I can get both of them in here is the problem. And I don't use this one as much. I guess I'm a round person. I like ovals. It's a nice sized oval, and it also has all of the detail that gets embossed and it gets cut at the same time. And I have done it separate because I am concerned and still am about the cut and emboss feature. I use mine so long. I mean, we're talking decades, okay? So I like mine to stay nice and crisp. And I'm concerned about this wearing away. I've used dies for years and years and years in the public school system. So I know dies have a limited shelf life if you use them a lot. And so I don't want this to get, I want it to stay sharp. In fact, mine's still quite sharp because I almost cut myself when I just did that. It is because I don't normally do this. Normally I cut it, I set it in and then emboss. And actually I think I'll do that today too, just not reduce my standards. But it is designed to actually fit like this. This is the embossed side. So what you would do is put your frame, how do you do it again? That's right. It goes like this, right inside. And no, because it has to, oh yes. And then you put your paper on and you close after you've made sure it's all in there. That's the other thing. I have problems with things shifting and I don't want to tape it. So I have problems with shifting and all of that. And so I just emboss and then I cut and then emboss. That's what I should say. Because if you emboss after cutting, that's fine. But if you emboss and then cut, when you cut it, it just flattens it all out. Okay, so you don't want to do it in that order. And I'm going to save this for later. I'm going to go ahead and get the emboss and cut thing gone and done right now, just to get it out of the way. And then I'll know for sure what I'm doing. Okay, so I think I went through all of my little list right there. That's awesome. Oh, I do need my special plate. So if you have the cutting machine, you do have to have some special plates. So you've got your original plate that came with your machine. I have another one that's a non-Stampin' Up! Magnetic one. And then this is the embossing plate. They look different, I think, now. Mine's pretty old. So just for you to know, it is a different plate. This is not your cutting plate. In fact, you don't want to cut on it because seriously, you see all this scarring, and this is like serious scarring. This is my bottom one. This is my top one. And I even have another top one that's bowed, and I still use it. It works fine, but they do get, they're disposable. You know, eventually I buy new ones, and then you don't have to do that with your embossing one. All right, so let's put the big guy up here. There are a lot of different kinds of embossing and cutting machines out there, but I really like mine. It's it folds up like this. Well, I never fold it up, so mine's not staying up, but usually it stays up really nicely. You can move it around really easy. There is a mini that we used to sell. I never did buy that because I knew I use this often, so I knew I would probably never need a mini one. I don't have mini embossing dies. They're big, you know, like this. And that probably would fit in the mini, but I'm not sure that it would because, yeah. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and cut this first. And then I'll emboss it so that I have my little frame done. And you also end up with this nice little oval that you can use as a label or something. And I'm going to use my little pick tool to get that out. Well, you didn't really pop out, did you? You sort of popped out, but not quite. There we go. All right, so there's your little oval. It's very nice. The thing I like about dies, rather than a cutting machine, is that it also bevels the one side. That's why you want a top side and a bottom side and know which is which, because that little bevel might not sound like much, but it actually is pretty cool. It looks nice. It's just a nice finish. It's the difference between a me painting a wall and a painter painting the wall. It's like serious difference. Theirs is going to be finished, smooth, and nice, and mine's going to look like garbage. So this is my top. So I definitely want that to be where the embossing part is going to be. So this will be the bottom. So we'll make sure that is the bottom. And then I'm going to just place it in here exactly where I want it, close this up, and then check my edges, because with this frame, it was actually easier for me with this frame to position it this way and get it in place for the top and make sure my little inner oval is exactly where I want it, then close her up. And then that leaves a proper edge all the way around. Otherwise, I was having trouble with that. So let's see if it goes through correctly. All right, let's see if I did it right. All right, that feels pretty good. Sometimes, see, that tension feels just a tiny bit light to me. So if I'd wanted to, I could have put a little shim under there. I have one. But our embossing folders are deep and nice, so it's not necessary. And if I'd wanted to have color on that, I could have done it in the folder, but actually, since I want the embossed and not you can do that with the debossed side to put the color on your folder by putting it on the bottom, and it looks good, but it's the debossed side, and I don't want that. I don't usually use that. So I'm going to just put a tiny bit of smoky slate color on that so that you can actually see it. Because, you know, you can't see it all that well otherwise, can you? Let me move it over here and you'll see what I'm talking about. From your perspective, especially, let me see if I can get my light here positioned a bit better. because it's so dark over here on this corner. Can you see that? Yeah, I don't know if you can. You might not even be able to here, but I've taken my smoky slate and colored it a bit, so it's, in person it's actually quite good. And I'll bring the camera down and you can see it a little bit better. But let me put my embossing things away first so that I don't lose them. I've got so many loose ends all over the place. So I need to kind of keep track of things just a bit, because otherwise I just spend hours just looking for things. That's never good. So smoky slate, let's get you out. Smoky slate. So here's my blending pen. Very easy to do this. You just need to use the brush end. I'm going to use the light one. Okay, I'm going to try to move my light. It's really hard for me to get enough light without it glaring on this. And, you know, that's the way it goes. All right, so let's take this, the brush tip, not the bullet tip. And that's pretty dark, so you'll see this really good. I don't think I want it that dark. And it's hard to do with this too, because it spreads. I'm going to have my church over that, so it's fine that I flubbed it. I think I'm going to use my ink pad. I think I actually did use my pen on this, but for some reason I'm not getting the right tension on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get out my smoky slate ink pad, if I can find it. Where are you? Is that you? Yes. Smoky slate. So we'll just take this. I don't usually do it like this, so I'm not real sure this is going to work. In fact, I'm thinking that's not going to work because I know what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to make a big mess and be not at all happy with that. So I'm going to get, instead, I'm going to grab a little sponge. If I can find one that's not ruined. That says dark brown. I don't want that. These are just those little finger sponges. I wonder if we still have these. You can find them anywhere. All right, so we'll just do that. And let's see. I'm going to start down here where I already have a little flub going anyway. Yeah, that's working much better. And then you can just gently put on your smoky slate, and then I'm getting the color I want and everything. Okay, I'm going to bring it down just a bit more so that you can see it. Just make sure you use a super light touch. Any kind of embossing, you can do it. Just make sure that you are inking up the embossed side, and then this would be the debossed side. And that one, if you want that side inked, you need to ink up your folder and run it through. I'm getting this a little darker this time because I'm using this. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure I used my pen and was just really careful because I was, just doing it for me and didn't have to rush along, so it was easy to do it that way. When you're just doing things on your own, sometimes you can get by with things that you can't get by with if you're trying to accomplish it in an hour. Getting a card done in an hour with any kind of little coloring or fussing is a bit of a challenge to do that I don't usually succeed with. If you look at my videos, they're almost always at least an hour and a half. But you, viewing it later, have the privilege of fast-forwarding through all the boring stuff. All right, it's darker. I actually like this lighter one, but it's okay. I'm not gonna fuss about it. It does have this lovely little braided edge. And if you're doing a darker thing, you could probably even bring out that darker edge a little. Now, I really like doing ink things like this because it gives that vintagey look that I really like. Really, really like. That probably shows my age. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's common for everybody to enjoy vintagey type things. I don't know. Okay, so now we've got smoky slate. That's looking pretty dark. So let me look and see if smoky slate is going to work. with that ink color, it is smoky slate, so you'd think it would, but let's just see. Yes, it does. Love it. Okay, so this one, I want it slightly raised. It gives you that already, but if you put your dimensionals on here, I'm going to leave room, not put a dimensional on the very bottom, because my little tree is going to tuck in behind. So I don't want a dimensional right there. I'm going to just put it around, all around here though, because I'm going to be shoving the church on there and pushing that all down, and I'm going to want it to be staying down pretty well. So we'll do that. What are your plans for spring? Is anybody going anywhere? Oops, is that, there we go. Are you going to be going somewhere for spring break? We haven't really thought about spring break because, you know, we just can take our spring break really whenever we want to. And so we kind of try to avoid spring break. We try to go and do things when it's not spring break. But, you know, the schools around here, because we have so many little towns all around, it doesn't seem to really matter. They don't all have spring break at the same time. And there are so many people that beautifully homeschool now that it doesn't matter what time of the year you pick. There's probably going to be a fair number of kids that are homeschooled that are at wherever you're going. But spring break definitely is more crowded. So we do avoid spring break. Try to go else at other times. I don't have anything against kids. Okay, I'm getting my little flub spot, although it really doesn't even show. And just making sure this is pretty much in the center. And there we go. There's that little frame. Love it. Now there are other ones you could do and just put it on, and you know, we have many big dies that you can do a frame. You would need to do like size down. If there are those layered ones, you would need to size down 3. You know, the bigger one will be number 1, and then size 3 in and get the smaller, and there's your frame. It just won't be embossed like this, that's all. Okay, now we can do our little church. So easy to do. You're going to love this. So we're going to take our, let's practice with our little set. So you can buy, in addition, because I don't think it comes with it, the paper, and you want it because this little graph paper has these little perfectly placed holes that make this paper fit right on here, and it won't shift. Oh man, I love that. Has these magnets that have little handles, so I like that. That's an improvement. Some of the demonstrators have said they've mostly just been using the these little guys. I don't even know how, because I haven't been using this little one. I don't use it at all. It's not fitting on those, and it's not going to fit on those. Is it this side? No. Oh, this is a foot. I see. This one fits. This is a foot. This is a fit. So it fits like this. Ah, I gotcha. Now I gotcha. And so this is going to fit on these, but it's not going to fit on that. It'll pivot. But that, to me, that's imperfect. So I'm not sure what I'm missing on that. That would be why I haven't been using it, I suspect. Because it's fine here. Like if you got cling and it's skinny and it's a label, this is great. But if it's photopolymer, that's not going to work at all. And so this plate, for me, useless. But that's okay. I love this one enough that it's not going to be a problem. So there's feet on one side with hinges. That's the good thing. The feet have the hinge, not a hinge. You cannot stamp close to hinges. You will not get even pressure. I don't care how good you are. You can be better than others, but I never liked it. It didn't matter how thick or not thick I made it. I had to have all my stamps positioned down here, nowhere near my hinges. With this one, I can put my stamps anywhere I want here. It's going to be nice and even pressing. Oh, I love that. Very secure. Because the hinge is in the feet, right here, these little feet. And then this is really secure. I do like the graph paper because it helps me with positioning. So I'm going to take my cardstock that I'm going to put my church on, and I'm going to just put it in here, right in the middle, where I like to put things, right there where number 2 is. Okay? And then you can put your little magnets on there. They're not so big that they're going to interfere with your stamping. That's important. And then if you care about where you're at, for me, this is just going to get cut out, so it doesn't really matter, you know, how I'm placing it all. What have I got in here? Oh, I see what I've done. That's pretty cool, actually. Okay. So here's all the dies that come with this. There's this little wooden door, and that's where your little cross is. So you can make your door pop out. You can actually also make your little roof pop out. Very cool. It has textured leaves, and it has, or bushes, and it has just a cutout bush. It has the little cross. It has clouds, 3 textured clouds. Very nice. I'm not using any of that, but I will. But I am going to use the church and the trees. Okay? So let's grab the church. And we'll do that first. Now with photopolymer ones that are not Stampin' Up, you do have to be careful peeling those off, because sometimes you get ones that are quite flimsy and they're not going to do well. Now, when you position this on here, if it's a brand new one, it can tear your paper. So always use any stamp set will do, you know, and then clean the ink off. I mean, any ink pad. But if you use a Versamark, it'll be nice and clear. So you can use your Versamark to get ink on there and kind of season your stamp a little bit. It's just like it's like seasoning a pan. You know, those nice either iron or not iron. Are they iron? Maybe they are. I don't know, but I don't use that. But those Pampered Chef ones I do, and you used to have to always season those. I don't know that you do anymore. Anyway, so I'm just getting some of that ink off, but since it's clear, it's just unimportant. But now it shouldn't stick at all. So I'm going to put that on here. I'm going to shift my magnet away. And then let's grab that tree. And we'll put the tree where I want, because I can do 2 trees here if I'm careful. And then you're just going to do that. I'm going to push this down. It'll pick up my stamps. You can see it's moving my paper because it kind of stuck on it, especially where that tree was. But it didn't tear it at all because I have used it before. If I hadn't, though, you know, I would. If you are needing to keep this perfectly still, do tape the sides. That'll prevent anything. But I'm going to be fine with what I'm doing, not doing that. Another thing I would really recommend that I haven't done yet, because I wanted to make sure that I wanted this before I did it, is I'm going to buy another one of these plates. I'm sure we'll be able to. I don't know if we can now, or even in the pre-order, I know we can't. But eventually, I think we'll probably be able to, and definitely going to have another plate. That way I'll be, in fact, however many stamping steps that you do. Like if I think I have some flower stamps that are 4 steps, and maybe a leaf that's 3 steps. And, you know, I'm definitely going to want 3 plates for that. That way I can get it perfectly set and then use those plates right where I want them. Oops, I have it the wrong way. Okay, here we go. All right, so now we're going to just push this down. If I don't like the impression very well, I can do it again. I can ink it up and do it again, but those look great, so I don't need to worry about it. I'm going to clean that, and then I am going to do the tree, and we'll be all set. I don't think I've actually used this in the Facebook Live. I've used it a bit on my own, but haven't used it on a Facebook Live. I think I might do, I'm just going to do the whole thing again. Okay, because I like that church. I'm going to be doing more of these cards. They're very cute. So we'll just shift it around here. And move it like over here. That's probably about that close enough. No, it needs to shift over here. That's pretty good. I'll push it up and grab my other magnet. Oh, I still don't have it far enough because I need that tree on here. Let's try it again. And now it's too far, of course. This is why I need that plate, you see. So I don't have all this. Well, normally I wouldn't be, I would just be using my block with these and stamping. I wouldn't be using this. This is the sort of thing I really love, though, with those multi-stamp things. They are so much nicer to use when you have a stamp positioner. I mean, like, seriously, those multi-step things are wonderful, but only if you have a positioner. Okay. Otherwise, they're kind of complicated to get. See, I can push down and not have to worry about it shifting. Like, I have a tool that helps me because I want the bigger things to be pushed down really good. But this one, this is so sweet, so sweet. It's just working beautifully, and then I don't have shifting going around. You're gonna want this. I just guarantee you will want it. Again, a way to get it is you just join. It's not hard, and you're never gonna regret it. If you don't want to stay in Stampin' Up, you don't have to. I mean, if it's your loss. If you don't want to, you don't have to, and there's no pressure. On our team, there's no pressure. All right, so there we go. Lovely. All right, so we've got this done. I'm not going to do any more with this tool. So I see my paper, I'm not even messing it up. If it did get messed up, though, I would just replace it with another sheet. But this is the one I've used and haven't needed the other. This part, I'm still perplexed about it. It's like, I know it's got to fit here somewhere. Oh, that's the foot. Keep thinking I'm doing something wrong. Oh, maybe it fits on. That's it. It fits on these. Oh, you ding dong. Why didn't you know that? Well, here's the reason. So this is a foot, this is a foot. Oh, I gotcha. So it fits on these and goes, I'm so glad I figured that out. Now I can use this plate. I love it. Because now this sort of frees me up from having to buy another plate, because if you had another one of these and another one of the big ones, that probably would be all you need. Look at you. Sweet. It stays nice and secure, and it's not as secure, but it's close enough. Staying pretty secure. If I get it on there, it stays actually really secure, because these little posts don't move. They could be a little higher to fit this foot a little better. Does it really fit? Should. Why is mine not fitting in there very good? Let me see. The divot isn't great. Oh, it's 3 feet. 1, 2, 3, and 1 post. So you just 1 post. So then you can swivel. And then you can use this one too if you want. Since you're only using 1, no, you can't. That's too high. You have to use these little ones. Oh, I got it. I got it. Ha! See? You just stick with me. You'll figure out. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'll do that instead, because it took her 15, 20, 30 minutes to figure it out, because she's not very bright. And I now know how to do it. All right, very, very good. I love it. So now I'll just put this little guy away, and then I can put, there was a case with one, I don't remember, but I never got the case because I had this perfect little shaving thing that was just laying around doing nothing anyway, because I think we'd already used up the shaver and gotten rid of it. There's my washer finishing, so that's nice. That's all done. All right. Now, let's go ahead and color the church, and then I'll cut it out. I've got my instructions here somewhere. Not on this one. Where did I put you? All right, so for the church, I'm going to use Smoky Slate Light for the darkest gray in it. And I'm only going to color one, so don't worry. We're going to just color dark here and here. Just on the lines, you know, maybe the steps. These can be gray steps. If you want the foundation to be that color too, you can do that. But I'm going to do the little roof, because I'm not doing the separate pieces. That's going to take too much time. And actually, my little frame's sticking out, so I don't want 3 and layers coming out. We're going to do just 2. This layer and then the church layer. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and outline a little bit here. We'll put in some more lines just to darken it up a bit. And here, maybe here. You just put in color where you want it, and then we'll go ahead and do it here. All right, and that is all the gray I'm going to be using for Stampin' Up. And then I am going to grab a couple of Copic pens that are lighter in color, because we don't have the other ones. So I need 3, but at least 2. Let me look. I've got CO2. I've got CO. I've got... You could use an ink pad and that sponge, but it's going to be difficult, and I'm too impatient to be taking tons of time doing things like that. I need the CO1 and CO2. There's CO1, and I know you're here somewhere. Maybe I only need those 2 because I'm not seeing the other, and I might have even used it up. I don't, keep these as fresh as my Stampin' Up ones. So, because you can just go down to the craft store to purchase these things. There you are, CO2. All right, so this one is going to be the lightest one. We'll take the darkest one, CO2. We'll see how it's going to be blending here. I just need it to blend up that smoky slate a bit, because it isn't a perfect blend. It's close enough, but it's not perfect. The way I know it's not a perfect blend is because it doesn't blend. It tends to just sort of separate. Some colors of ink, actually like a watercolor, blend better. And that's why it's best to stick with one pen. But as in this case, I really can't. All right, so that's pretty light, but I actually need it to be the lightest. So I'm just using 2 and 0. C0. And if you used our color lifter, it would do almost the same thing. It would just be a little lighter on the very edge. And that actually, if you want a lighter touch, you start with, CO2, maybe, and then do the color lifter. I think that would look really good. You'd get a really light edge. Somebody shared in
No, I think it was my team leader. She said in one of the videos that she was watching, she learned and had never really thought about doing it before, which for her is pretty incredible since she does all kinds of magnificent things, to admit that you can use your color lifter to get the little dots of light. It's pretty cool. Again, you should just join my team because then you would hear these things and know. All right, I'm going to take my dark smoky slate and just go in a little bit where I want it to be just a bit darker in the corner there. Okay, and maybe down here too. And then we'll take that CO. And the one thing I do like about it has this chisel tip. I do really like that chisel tip. It's handy. The bullet is good, but sometimes that chisel gives me just a little bit more. Now, where's my light one? Smoky slate light. These are dark. What did I do with you? I don't see or feel. I must have put it away. That was foolish. No, I didn't. It must have rolled away. Well, whatever. I'm going to use the dark one then because I don't see it. That's so strange. Things roll away on my desk and I have no clue where they go to. And then I find them eventually. This is going to be a little darker than I wanted, but oh well. All right, so now I've got my little white church. I love that. So cute. And I'll do a brown door just to make sure it's not all gray. So I'm going to use a retired cinnamon cider, I think. I like cinnamon cider. We'll do cinnamon cider and crumb cake. Let's try our dark crumb cake and see how they go together. This must be cloud cover. I haven't even used that pen yet. I'm so bummed that our pens are going away because I do actually use those. So cinnamon cider for the lines in the center of that door. And I think I'll use it for the brick just a bit too, just a little bit, just to get a little varied color of brick going there. Oh, let's do it for our tree as well. Might as well do both while I'm right there. And then our lighter cinnamon cider. I think I'm going to use, let's do bronze and see what I get with bronze. Where are you, bronze? I am not seeing you. I'm going to get out an 800. That is very old. They don't even sell those by the number like that anymore, but I'm getting it out anyway. That's a 600. Now they do it by light, medium, and dark, and that's probably much more beneficial for people who aren't buying all the pens, but there you are, bronze. I knew you were in here somewhere. I want to see how you're going to go with my cinnamon cider. It's pretty close, so you might want to just stick with your bronze. It's close enough. And then we'll do 300 and see if that's light enough. Oh, it's dark. Okay, we will go with our crumb cake. Make sure you're using the bullet tip. Oh, perfect. Okay, so now I'm kind of getting a little bit dark, but it's all right. It'll be fine. There we go. And then you can always take your color lifter and lighten things up if you want to. I have one in here somewhere, but I am not sure where. So I'm going to grab my CO again, and I'm going to use that. That also will lighten up my edge a little bit here. If you're using a lighter pen like that, make sure you clean it. Otherwise, you'll have a messed up nib that has other ink on it that you don't want. I didn't do the door, and I'm so glad I didn't because I want ivory. I think ivory is going to work better here. Let Let me grab it. Oh, there's my color lifter. So this is what it looks like. I do have them in here. I just usually am using a lighter ink color rather than that. Ivory, I know you're here. Where are you? I have them labeled, so I should be able to see this pretty easily. And I could even get them out ahead of time if I had half of a brain. I must be running out of my ivory, because ivory and bronze, both of you, I was having a hard time finding, even though there's 2 bronzes right together. All right, there you are. So ivory is a really good colorless brown. You see, it's almost like a color lifter. Mine's kind of running out there. It's sort of yellowish. It's one reason I just don't use it too much. I'm going to use it for the window area. I want that a little bit darkened up, but not actually yellow at all. And now that I've undercolored it, it's going to do just fine, because I'm going to put my darker crumb cake again on here. And that undercoloring is going to lighten that up quite a lot, actually. Okay, and then this is just the same pen. I just turned it over. The bullet tips, this one's running out on that brush tip, and it's not on this bottom part. Now I'm going to do a little more of my brick, and then we will finish that out with something. Let's do it with my CO2. And then we get a little bit of different color in with my brick. Okay? Isn't that cute? You could put in some wood, you know, if you wanted to. You could put the name of a church if you have one particularly that you go to and you want to promote it. There you go. There's a spot for you. In fact, I hadn't even thought of that, but I think that's a great idea. So if I wanted to do that, I could do that. All right, so here we go. We're going to cut these out. Oh, I do need the trees. I don't know what I was thinking with that. What did I do with the trees? Did I write them down? I used our light clover and light spruce mostly. I love that Call Me Clover. That was so old, I know. But it's actually a color I really liked. So anyway, we're going to start with the light spruce, because this is a nice light green. Okay. I know it looks fairly dark right here, but it's pretty light, actually. Just going around my little lines a bit. Maybe a little extra right there. You know, just getting in some color. My light Call Me Clover. Let's see how you go. There's the brush tip. Pretty good. It's pretty light. The other is a little darker. My brush tip is a little lighter than the bullet, so I'm going to have to finish with this bullet part, but oh good, it's not too dark. Sometimes the bullet part, you know, I think it must be the way I'm storing my pens. I store them all on on its side, but somehow the ink runs to one end. It obviously is not perfectly on the side, because it always winds up on one end of the pen more than another. But, you know, when you're coloring a lot like I do, you just kind of work with what you get. If you want to add any more dark in there, you can. If it's not dark enough, just go over it with the same color again. Okay, good enough. Now we're going to cut that out and place it on, and those will be done and ready to be put on a... We have these pearl things that are these metallic... Oh, they're so cute. So, I think we still have those. I didn't get it out. I'll have to find out what it is, actually. All right, cutting those out. Let me put my cutting machine over here again. And adjust my light so you can see what's going on here. And
grab out the dies. We're gonna have to cut the the trees 2 times. I didn't do any bushes. I really like the simplicity of this set. So you don't have to add all of the little detail. And it's actually pretty, might have to cut this apart. My magnet's not quite grabbing what I want it to. Let me cut these apart so I can get it up here where I need it to stick on there better. Okay, that one's good. And this one's gonna be good. All right, put the plate on. My tree shifted. Let me get the tree back in place because it shifted on me. All right. You are not cooperating on this corner. Okay, we'll try it again. There we go. All right, it still shifted a tiny bit, but at least it didn't ruin it. The church is perfect. And then we'll grab the tree, and I'll want to color that church before I cut out that other one, but I'll do that all on my own. And so Easter, you are going to want this set for Easter, but I actually think I like this set for other things maybe more than Easter. If you want to send your minister things, this is a great one to do it with. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. All right, very nice. Love those. I really like this set. Have I said that enough times? It's so cute. And remove of that. And we'll get that back. All right, so we're going to take our little trees, and one's going to get tucked in. This edge, I think I'm going to stick it here, and we'll take this one and tuck it behind. And then this is going to go here, like that. And then all we need is the label. So let me grab my cardstock. I've got all my little scraps going here. I want a pretty good sized label. Let's see what we have. It needs to be a square. I mean a rectangle. When I was a child, there was a very strong distinction about what was a rectangle and what was square. So I've taken all of my rectangular ones pretty much and shoved them together. These are very old. I have newer ones, but I keep just reaching for my old ones because they're handy right there. And this was the perfect size because I wanted my label to be big enough for my words, but I didn't want to cover up my lovely frame at all. So we're gonna do, let's find, where's another piece of white? Oh, I used it. Let's grab another whole half sheet here. And then we're gonna do our He is Risen. That was a good one. I liked it. Let's see what we've got here. We've also got, we can go Easter blessings. That would be good. The blessings word's really good. The wedding one is actually really nice too. I don't have many weddings in our life anymore. I don't think there are any coming up either that I know of. I could do baptism. Probably not. Yeah. All right, so let's, oh, I got you. No, that's not big enough. I think I'll use this one. This is a good one. Celebrate His love. That's a good one. We'll do that instead of the He is Risen. I didn't want to do necessarily an Easter one. I don't actually send out a lot of Easter cards. Some years I remember better than other years. And I do want to do it with Smoky Slate. Okay. Smoky Slate. I had you out. There you are. Right there. Move that. Get that there. Eat Christ. No, celebrate his. So I'm separating out a lot. I'm writing in a document my sentiments, many of them, and all the images in a searchable, for me, not searchable as search the box and find. I don't know enough about Word to do that. So it will be good for me. I've already used it, in fact, today to find, or to actually not find what I was looking to realize, oh, I'm going to have to look a different way to find that. So instead of looking up the word lucky, I looked up something else and did find it. Okay, so see how that nicely fits? I'm going to just do this quick on the side without your viewing so that I can move along, and then we'll get this done. Try to find those pearls. Those pearls are what make this card perfect. To me, I like ribbons, but I like pearls, I think, even more. I didn't have pearls as a kid. Well, growing up, we did not wear jewelry at all. And then when I became an adult, I did wear jewelry for a very brief time and realized I don't really like wearing jewelry. It just irritates me. I'm a very textile type person, I guess. And so I just don't wear it. All right, so pearls, metallic pearls. Let's see what the name of all of this is. These are called Basic Gray and Smoky Slate Pearls. I don't know if they're still available or not. I hope so for your sake. I love those. They come in a few different little sizes here. There's the teenier ones. Actually, to me, it looks like just 2 sizes. So that's actually kind of nice. Sometimes it's like way more than I can possibly use. Now this tree, I am going to go ahead and put dimensionals on all of the trees. I'm not under here because I want it to tuck under. But we'll put the dimensionals on the top part of the tree. And then we'll slide you under. But let's put the church where I want it. And then I'll know for sure where I want. Do I want it there? No, I want it maybe like right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one. It's going to be like, now maybe I'll put my church up a bit. There, that's perfect. So we're going to need dimensional here and a mini dimensional here, and then it'll be nice and flat against my but against that frame, because I don't want too much of an edge. I'm going to just use a little mini black dimensional. I think that will fit here. Let's see. It won't on the very bottom. I'm going to go ahead and trim you. I should have cut it when it was on the sheet, but I didn't. All right, so in there, and this one here. As usual, it sticks to me better than where I want it to stick. Pretty typical. All right, that and that. And that. Cute. All right, put you straight again where I'm going to have you, and that will be right there. And now with the same thing, we're going to put a dimensional here, mini dimensional, maybe 2 of them there. Oh, maybe one down here as well.
Where are you, Minnie? I think I actually want the white ones just in case I mess up. And I'm going to use my tweezers to grab you. Okay, so that's as high up with that mini dimensional as I can get. That's good. We'll use a big one down here. Okay, and then we'll put another mini on this step there. And we'll put a regular one on this corner. Should give us the right height of everything. Very cute. All right. Jeff and I saw a really good movie. It's just YouTube last night. It's an old 1970s made-for-TV movie. Sometimes those are quite good. And on my Kathy Crow's Cards page, there is a movie list. And I've been busy adding movies to that for the last, 6 months. And just from other people's lists, it's not like anything, I'm not finding anything other than what other people have found. There's been some good old movies we've never seen. That's saying quite a lot. We've watched a lot. Our preference is old ones, and I'm talking real old, like 30s and up. So, oops, I want to see that word, his love, so I'll put it right there. All right, perfect. Now all we need is the little gems, and I kind of went a little nuts on them with my other card. I'm going to be a little more on the cautious side this time. I do want 3 here, so we'll use 1 and 2 and 3 right there, and we're going to put 2 up here. They are different. There's a light gray and a darker gray, and I kind of like mixing it up. 2, and I put them on here and then realized that's way too much because these are pretty big. So maybe 1 little one. I don't know. I'm gonna do it, but I'm really not so sure that I should. Right there, because you can't, it gets too much when you start doing it. I guess I could do it on either side of his love. That'll work. Okay. Oh, so cute. The movie we watched last night was called was it The Man Who Called? Yeah, I think it was The Man Who Called Wolf. Yeah, 1970s, made for TV, totally clean, very, very intense in a good way. Although we both said, oh, everybody should see this movie because, you need to listen to old people. They actually oftentimes are pretty wise. You might not like what they're saying, but they're pretty wise. So you should listen to them. Not always, but listen. Doesn't mean you have to do what they say, but at least listen. So it was that kind of a movie. It was great. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was so timely. I couldn't believe it. I just thought you would never see a movie like this today because, of course, you could never, contradict the man, what they used to call the man, which is now considered not the man, but is totally the man in a way that it never was when they were calling him the man. So funny. Life is just sweet. So you should go check that one out. It would be at the top of my list because it's the last one I've saved, I believe. But all right, celebrate his love. That is the news for the day. Not politics, not weirdness, not fashion, nothing else. Nothing else will do. So I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and just cut it in half at 5 1/2. No, actually, I think I'm going to be a little bit more creative this time and do it at 4 1/4. And I'll never forget the first time I realized you could cut cards like this for the base card. It was like, are you kidding me? How come I never thought of that? I didn't. Somebody had to do it for me. And it's like, are you kidding me? How come I never
thought of having a card open in that direction. I love card making because there's so many things that you can learn from even very, very young people who have just started but are smarter than me, and or just more creative. I've got a little bit of Stampin' Up! Dimensional going there. I love that. So pretty. Isn't it? I love that frame. It's so, so elegant. This does not need a ribbon. That frame is perfect. Okay, I'm sure there's a frame out there that I could be using that's a current one, but I just happen to really like this one. And I haven't used it in a long time, so I was really happy to get it out. Okay, so my cutting job wasn't perfect with my base card, so I'm going to have to trim that up. And we will be all done. Thank you so much for watching with me. I really appreciate it when you do, but do go over, and I do really appreciate it if you like it, share it. If you want to have a comment, if you have a question, that all helps my Facebook presence, but it doesn't make or break me. It just is a matter of circulation. So if you are in Springfield especially, I would really appreciate it, but really anywhere in the United States, because most of the people on my team don't live anywhere near me. So I would appreciate it very much. It's YouTube that gets seen most, and it's a pretty friendly site to watch from. So there you go. This is so easy to do. Anyone can do it. And the stamp set you're going to want to buy is called Blessed Beginnings. I'm going to look really quick here on my phone and to verify, you know, are you available right now? Or was this my pre-order? Because I don't even know. Stampin' Up! Has so many new things all the time. I gave up keeping track of it about a year and a half ago. So when you go to the website, you know, in the search box, you just type in what you want. Blessed Beginnings. Okay. Got that typed in. Hit search. If anything comes up, well, there you go. It's available. It's $34 for the bundle. Now that is a bargain. You're going to love it. It's so, so nice. Perfect for Easter. So anyway, I hope you have a lovely day. Oh, there you go. See, it is nice and sunny out there. I forgot to flip. Flip, flip, flip. Have a great weekend. It's the weekend. Enjoy. I hope it's warmer for you. But as you can see, it's sunny and beautiful. I peeked my nose outside. Did not work out this morning. Went and needed a lot of laundry done today, so I just stayed home. But I peeked my nose outside so I could hear the birds singing. And it's like, whoo, that breeze. It's cold. So I'll just happily stay inside and look at the birds from in here. And then when Jeff comes home this afternoon, he'll probably put some bird seed out there for them. And I'll just stay inside watching. It works out beautifully. All right, I will see you next week. I'm not sure what day, but it'll happen. And I think that's it. Bye.